All right, guys, here we go. We've got a fun activity today. You guys are going to learn how to write checks. But before we get into that, let's review. So yesterday we looked at two financial statements that companies use to kind of measure and see how they're doing financially. All right, so this first one, remember we covered a balance sheet and an income statement. So both of these are related to your income statement. So last month's revenue for Tisha's Tire Company was $700. So that was her revenue. That's her sales. And it paid $400 for cost of the goods that she's selling and then $200 in expenses. So all we do for this is we subtract 700 minus 400 minus 200. And that gives you $100 left over, which is not a lot, but it's something. So Tish would have a net income because she has money left over at the end of last month. So that would be net income. Now the second one, Harry's grocery store, he had a revenue of $98,000. So his sales were $98,000, but he had $103 in his cost of goods sold. So you subtract 103 and you're already like, oh my God, this is not good. And then he had expenses of $32,000. And when you subtract those, you get a terrible number. You get a negative $37,000. So Harry was in the hole. He had a net loss because he did not have any money left over. He was in the hole. He was in the negative. So he had a net loss last year. That is not good. So make sure you understand net income is having money left over at the end of the month. Net loss is when you're in the hole, when you don't have any money left over and you actually are not making any money at all. That's a net loss. So net loss is a negative. All right, so next we took a look at a balance sheet, some balance sheet numbers and net income numbers. So you're going to look at liabilities first. Remember, liabilities are liars. So we don't like liabilities for a company. So your liars, these would be things that you're paying for. So your debt. So utilities payable, accounts payable, income tax payable, wages payable, and payroll tax payable. You're going to add up all of those numbers to see what your total liabilities are or what your total debt is. So add up those numbers and that'll be your total liabilities for number one. All right, number two, we're going to look at total assets. So assets, we like assets. So we like cash. We like people that owe us money. So that's accounts receivable. We like fixed assets. That would be like our building and our trucks and stuff. And we also like machinery. So for our total amount of assets, you're going to add up your cash, accounts receivable, fixed assets, and machinery. And that'll give you your total amount of your assets. Now, current assets. These are things that turn into cash really quick. So these are things that where we can say, oh, I need some cash real quick. So of course that's going to be cash. And then people that actually are going to write you checks. So that's your accounts receivable. So all you're going to do is you're going to add those two numbers together and that'll give you your current assets. Long-term assets. These are things that we own that we like, but it would take a long time to turn them into cash. It would take a long time to sell. So that would be your fixed assets like your building and your trucks. And then your machinery. So you just add those two numbers together and that'll give you your long-term assets. And then last, owner's equity. Remember from yesterday, owner's equity, that's your total assets. So that would be this right here for number two, minus your total liabilities, which would be the number that you found in number one. And that'll give you the amount of the company that you actually own or your owner's equity. Next is your income statement. So you've got revenue, that's your sales, cost of goods sold, salaries, utilities, rent, insurance, advertising, maintenance, and just miscellaneous. So this is how the company looks for paying their bills each month. So number one, what is the total amount of sales? So remember yesterday, another word for sales would be revenue. So your total amount of sales would be $350,000. That easy. Forgot my zero. All right, gross profit. Remember, gross profit, that was your revenue minus your cost of goods sold. So 350,000 minus 50,000 would give you $300,000 for your gross profit. Total expenses, you're just adding up everything that you're paying for each month, which would be your salaries, your utility bill, rent, insurance, advertising expense, maintenance to fix stuff, and then just miscellaneous stuff that we're paying for. So add up all those numbers and that'll give you your total expenses. Now, net income, that's your gross profit, which is what we found for number 2, minus your expenses. So gross profit minus expenses, that'll give you your net income. So you take what you got for gross profit for number 2, and then you subtract what you got for number 3, and that'll give you your net income, which is how much money you got left over each month. Now, the exciting stuff, how to write checks. So to start us off, we're actually going to label and fill out a check. So here we go. Get this out of the way. So right here, the top left corner, this is going to be your check information. This is also called the payer. So you are the payer, the person that's going to be writing the check. So this is just your payer information, your address, your phone number. This right here is called your check number. This will go up by 1 with each check that you write. So this is check number 2670. The next one will be 2671, 2672, 2673. So that'll be different. That'll go up 1 with each check that you write. This right here is the date. You just actually write out the date. Of course, this is a little old, so that would be 2021. All right, this line right here is going to be who you're writing the check to. So we're going to go shopping at Walmart. This is called the payee. Payee. This is the amount that you're buying. So if you're buying groceries and you buy groceries in the amount of $98.26, that's the number form. So this is the amount, and I'm just going to abbreviate, in number form. All right, this line right here is for you to actually spell out $98.26. So you're going to write it out in words. So 98, and that's hyphenated. And then for my change, I just write the little ampersand symbol, and then I just do 26 over 100. And I draw a line out here to make sure nobody else writes on the line to forge my check. And this is just the word form of your numbers. So that's word form. This is your bank, also called your financial institution. Professionally term is financial institution, but I'm just going to write bank. So for me, that's State Employees Credit Union. Now the 4, this is your memo. What did we buy at Walmart? We said we bought groceries. And then last, this is your signature. So you're just going to sign your check. And I just forged John Doe's signature. So that's your signature. Signature. Now, these 2 numbers down here are very important, especially to the bank. This right here is called your routing number. So like a bus route, this gets your check that you write back to your bank. So it's the route that the check has to take to get back to your bank. The second number is your checking account number. So when you're making deposits, this is the number that you're going to write on your deposit slip. So this is your checking, I'm going to abbreviate account number. And you can remember this like cheerleaders, rah, rah, sis, boom, bah, I'm writing a check, yippee. So this is the number that you need to pay careful attention to when you're actually making deposits at the bank for the checking deposit slip, because you'll need your account number if you're going to deposit anything into your checking account. So remember, routing, and then your account number. Now for our activity. Okay, this is the activity, but you guys are actually going to do it on a sheet of paper. And I've given you specific directions and how to do this on your sheet of paper. Okay, that is in Canvas, but you're going to fill out 3 checks to whoever or whatever businesses you want to, and then you're going to record those checks in your check register. So in Canvas, let me show you where that is. Make sure that this is showing up. I think yesterday part of my video was not showing up because the share was being crazy. All right, so we're on our home page. You're going to click on the submission link, checks and register. This is due today. For your directions, follow these steps, follow the directions step by step while watching this video below. So you're going to watch this video. Do not copy my check amounts. If you do, your grade will be a 0. So I want you to write your own checks. This is just a regular sheet of paper. You can use notebook paper if you want to. I don't care what paper you use, but how to do this, follow the steps in this YouTube video that I recorded for you. You're going to submit your final piece of paper that looks like this as a picture in Canvas. So you're going to take a picture with your cell phone, email the picture to yourself as an attachment through email, download it to your computer, and then upload it to Canvas. Okay, and then this is for a project grade because I'm asking you to draw out all this stuff. So this is for a project grade. So make sure you guys do this. This is due today. Okay, other than that, do your exit ticket, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow.